Demby's going in the air for a bomb. Catch. The Wolverines, the 10, 5, touchdown Woodside. And welcome to postseason football right here from Todd Stadium in Newport News. Greg Bickaveris along with Nate Milton, our 5th game of the year. Nate, it's postseason football, so the stakes are higher.
Correct, Greg. Win or go home. The Pilots try to take flight here tonight at Todd Stadium. The Raiders try to defend home field.
It's never easy playing on the road.
Never easy playing on the road, but this is the time of year where you've got to focus in, lock in on one goal, one cause. We're going to see tonight which team prepared the best.
All right, 48 minutes of football. Keep it right here on YouTube. Let's get down to the field. Nate, first of all, what are the keys for Norview from Norfolk?
So the key to me for the Pilots, Greg, coming in with a record of 5-5, they've had an up and down season, a bit of inconsistency. If I'm Norview, I want to come out and set the tone, announce my presence with authority, and really try to demonstrate your will, both on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball.
Warwick 7-3.
Now, Warwick has had a season where they stumbled a bit early out of the gates, but they've had a really strong season after those first 2 games. The only blemish on the record, the loss to Hampton a couple of weeks ago. If I'm Warwick, keep doing what you've been doing these last few weeks. Keep putting the pressure on the other team's quarterback. And the defense, I think, will be a big key in tonight's game.
Brand new season in the postseason. Glad you're with us on YouTube. NNPS Telecom. Greg Bick.
At in the number 8 MOZAIK at Nate Mosaic at Twitter and Nefarious Media on Twitter.
Thank you for the several thousand people who have been watching on YouTube this year. Norview in the all-white blue helmets. They are the Pilots. Norview coached by Carolyn Farabee. They like the spread offense. The strength, of course, is their quarterback. He's very tall. The weakness, they need to button up the secondary. They've had some excellent coaches in the past like Herb Lawrence, Delton Cotton, Robert Turan. And, of course, Nate, their last game was a loss to Lake Taylor.
And I think that's something that we might see in tonight's game, Greg, that inconsistency that we've seen all season from Norview. They really haven't been able to go on a winning streak thus far. Coming off a loss into the playoffs is not how you want to start your postseason. So we'll see if they put that game behind them and can they come out with that can-do mentality against a tough Raider football team.
And this is actually Norview's 3rd game against the Newport News team. They beat Woodside, lost to Denby. So they've also beaten Great Bridge, Granby, Manor, and Booker T. Lost to Denby, Churchland, Maury, Norcom, Lake Taylor, but Warwick's got the advantage because they play out here all the time.
Yeah, Warwick has the advantage, and I think, Warwick has had that consistency. Yes, they lost to Oscar Smith. Yes, they, stumbled against Hampton, but I think for the most part this season, Greg, they haven't been spectacular, but they've been pretty steady. They've been solid. They've been consistent, and I think that consistency may be what puts them over the top tonight.
It's the big plays and everything else that goes with it. It does not matter now the regular season. It's all about the postseason. Norview going right to left in the first quarter. Incomplete with 10:43 left. Be physical, blocking, style, and attitude. Conference, you really know and you need to know what your identity is right now.
That's a big key to this game, Greg. I think it's also, you mentioned all those words, all those mantras, all those slogans that both of these coaches are bringing into tonight's game. Another one I would add to that list, going back to Jim Valvano when the NC State Wolfpack survive and advance. Doesn't matter how you win. Doesn't matter how pretty it is. We're not scoring on style points. We're not going to the judges. Just go out here, and whether you win the game by 15 or 5, just get the dub.
Nice roll across the 50, and they're lucky it got such a good roll. The officials tonight, Nate, Dwayne Bourne is the referee. Then you got Corey Williams, Kevin Beverly, Andrew Samaglio, Josh Taylor, Anthony Harris, Steve Woodward. Dwayne Bourne has been providing me with the roster for the refs all year. Good guy.
Great job by our officials tonight. Always good to see the crew doing their thing on the field, Greg. Now this is a prime opportunity for the Warwick Raiders at home near midfield on your first offensive drive of the game. This could be a moment where they come out and make a statement.
Playing under Friday night lights here on this, and it feels like fall football weather here in Newport News.
There's a little chill in the air, and I like it. It's football weather, brother.
You got to have the heat on at night, though. We'll get to a lot of fun stuff here as the game goes on, and we'll be joined by our special student announcer as well. And that's Ryan Ross. We'll call him R Squared.
R Squared.
Ryan will join us in the second quarter.
I like that. Man hadn't even shown up on camera yet, and he's already got a cool nickname.
R Squared. In fact, Nate, go ahead and introduce ourselves to Ryan. Ryan, you go to Menchville High School.
Yes, sir, I do. Our season's already over, but I'm glad to commentate here tonight and watch over these two good teams compete and have fun.
So glad to have you with us. Warwick going left to right. That running game is going strong.
Oh, my.
And on his feet, number 6. And that is Tucker, Nate.
Tucker did a great job getting to the outside, Greg, scooting down the outside of the offensive line. And Ryan plays defensive end for the Menchville Monarchs. They could have used somebody of Ryan's ability on that Norview defensive front, man, because you can't let him get outside, hit that edge on you, because he's just going to go. And they were very fortunate that that run did not end in 6 points.
Absolutely. And, of course, Norview likes that 4-3 defense. Warwick, of course, coached by Thomas Sykes in his first year. Replaced Corey Hairston, who went to Grafton. He brought a couple Warwick assistants with him as well.
I've been very impressed with the job that Warwick has done this year, Greg, kind of turning that page from Corey Hairston, who laid a good foundation here for the Raiders. And, you know, again, they had those 2 games earlier that they lost. But other than the Hampton game, Warwick has been pretty solid, pretty consistent the rest of the season. And you've got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff for setting up that foundation and creating a program and a culture that these young men could buy into.
Quarter number 1. Greg Picavaris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. Our 5th game of the season, but the most important one for both of these teams. Warwick in the yellow and white, and they have the W on their helmet. Look like a roller coaster hit there. And that was number 12, White Epps. Talk about White Epps.
White Epps out here trying to look like Mike Epps, trying to make things happen, Greg Picavaris. But here's the thing. Right now is a impact moment for Norview, because they need to stand up. They need to bow up here. I need to see that red zone defense come to fruition, because you can't let Warwick run up and down the field on you. So this is a big stand here for the Norview Pilots.
No score. Just over 8 minutes left in the first quarter. Glad you're with us here at Todd Stadium. Field looking great. Last couple years it's looked like this all the time. Warwick in the yellow trying to get across, and they won't there. Good stingy defense by Norview.
Yeah, the bend but don't break, the old cliche. That's what we've seen from Norview thus far. Gave up a big run to put the Raiders in scoring position, but they've really clamped down. They've really clamped down. It's like that old Little Richard song. You keep on knocking, but you can't come in. Come back tomorrow night and try it again. That's what the Norview Pilots are saying right now to the Warwick Raiders.
Little Richard never got the respect he deserved either.
No, he didn't, and he would tell you that, Greg. Little Richard would tell you everybody stole from him.
Exactly. Thomas Sykes trying to get some respect, too. He likes to spread offense, Nate. 4-2 defense. Strength has been the defense for Warwick this year. Weakness, of course, they're looking for more depth for next year. On the outside, and we'll say what they call it. No dice. The bottom line is you got to be focused to get across that orange marker.
Wow, it's a wonder how he didn't get across that goal line, Greg. I think, he just took a different angle, and Norview was able to cut him off at the pass, but that should have been 6 for the Raiders.
It's like trying to make a U-turn at the last minute. It didn't work out. But Warwick has definitely controlled the first quarter.
I was going to say a U-turn at the last minute in the middle of J. Clyde Boulevard in the middle of rush hour. It was like that.
All right, we have 7:14 left in the first quarter. right here at Todd Stadium in Newport News. We'll be back after these messages.
I want to be a historian.
I want to be a marine scientist.
I want to be an oceanographer.
I want to be an astronaut.
I want to be a zoologist.
I want to be an engineer.
Virginia is rich in educational resources.
Virginia is for.
Virginia is for.
Virginia is for.
Virginia is for.
Virginia's for learners.
The Navy Junior Reserves Officer Training Corps, or NJROTC, provides military science and leadership training for high school students. Enrollment in NJROTC does not require you to pursue a military obligation after high school. If you complete 2 to 3 years in NJROTC, you can enter the military in higher grades than other enlistees. For more information, please contact your school guidance counselor or visit www.njrotc.navy.mil or www.navyjrotc.us.
And Warwick getting on board. Nate Milton, not wasting any time.
Not wasting any time. A little bit of a sneak there. So sneaky, in fact, that we didn't even catch it. That's how sneaky they were. But a great job right there by the Warwick Raiders to get into the end zone, scoring the first points of tonight's game. Raiders up 6-0.
That's exactly what you want to do. You got to control the business early on. And we talked about it as well. Six nothing, going for the extra point in the yellow for the Raiders here at Todd Stadium in Newport News. Kick is up, and it is. So 7 points for the Raiders. That's exactly what Thomas Sykes wanted to start off that way.
Yeah, if you're Coach Sykes, you have to be pleased for the most part with that opening drive, Greg. Just methodical. They had the one big explosive play, the big run that brought them into scoring position, and then just wore them down, wore Norview's defense down there at the goal line, capping it off with the big sneak to put them up 7-0 for the Warwick Raiders.
You worked all season for the postseason. For Norview, you got to watch the turnover margin, the accountability of each player tonight. You can't just expect the quarterback to do everything. He's got to have the receivers, the line, the running backs. They all got to chip in.
Yeah, it's a team effort, Greg. And, you know, Johnny Kemp back in the day had a song, Just Got Paid Friday Night. I know you remember that one, my friend. And
oh, I met Johnny Kemp because I was in the Bahamas and met him in '91.
You met Johnny Kemp in the Bahamas. Was it on a Friday?
I think it was. He was in the same taxi I was. Back then, there was no Ubers. Nate, how'd you get here tonight?
Hey, I got the best drivers in town, Greg Biggavaris. But
please elaborate.
It wasn't Johnny Kemp, I'll tell you that much. Johnny Kemp was not my driver tonight.
Warwick's up 7-0. Beautiful weather here in Newport News. And nice special teams there by Norview. Just what the Norfolk team wanted. And they get across the 35. You need those explosive plays.
3 phases of the game, Greg. They are all important: offense, defense, and as we saw right there, special teams by the Norview Pilots. My man was on the runway on the tarmac, ready for takeoff. Did a great job. That's the kind of spark you need when you're behind in a playoff game on the road.
48 degrees, and that was a chilling play right there. And, of course, Warwick's got to work on the tackling there, but they're bringing it back, it looks like, Nate. That's not what you wanted to go in reverse.
And that is the exact opposite feeling. You go from elation to deflation. I know I got a good friend, Brian, out there watching the game, and I know Brian is a Patriots fan, so he doesn't want to hear anything about deflation. But deflation is the emotion right now that the Norview Pilots are feeling after that penalty gets that wonderful return called back.
It was a block in the
and again, much like I was saying with Johnny Kemp, just got paid Friday night. These young men work all week to get to this point, to get to game night. And so it's like you've been working hard all week at the job, and now you go to the bank or you got direct deposit. It's time to cash in. Which team is going to cash in tonight?
Nate and I don't show up without a check.
That is the truth, my friend.
Number 30.
Speaking of checks, you were checking out a lot of sights and sounds in D.C., my friend. Did you see anybody interesting in the nation's capital?
Yes, we did. We did see President Trump came to the TV booth in the third quarter. And, of course, you had to be respectful or else you face consequences. But we all got vetted by the Secret Service the day before. So that's good that I passed those tests. But I did get a chance to shake his hand twice.
Okay.
Exchange pleasantries. He was very pleasant to everybody.
Okay, nice. So no upcoming cabinet position for Greg Bigoveris?
Not yet.
Secretary of State Bigoveris?
But the way they're fighting, who knows?
Who knows?
You might have one too, Nate. You know, it goes back to that thing. Way back in the day, people made fun of it, but it's true. When Rodney King said, can't we all just get along? His premonition was very true.
It's about unity on and off the field, and we just hope, that people can start coming together.
Everybody. Sports and non-sports.
Sports can bring people together.
It's a bridge. And that's what the president said, how sports is a bridge. Anyway, 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Warwick's up 7-0. So glad you're with us. Our 5th game of the year. Of course, you don't want to waste time. You got to learn how to close in these fourth quarters. Both teams have got to have discipline. Eliminate penalties. Run pass option. That's what Norview's got to work on right now. They need something to spruce the team up a little bit. A big play or something. Little zip screen pass. And that's complete. And that was Zyquez Williams. And, of course, Farabee is the head coach. Went to Norfolk State, so I said, have you been keeping up with your former team? He goes, I've been pretty much going to a cookout here or there, but haven't even paid much attention. And that's the sad part when you're not winning.
Yeah, and we hope things get better because, the excitement that Mike Vick, hometown hero, brought to that program, it was electric that first game, but it just hadn't come to fruition in terms of wins and losses.
We'll see what happens next year. But winning is everything.
It is. Unfortunately, it's a zero-sum sport. Ask Trent Dilfer.
Yes. Although he did win a Super Bowl.
He did win a Super Bowl. As a college coach, though, not so much. It's been a lot of college coaches this year. James Franklin gone.
Exactly.
Brian Kelly gone.
Virginia Tech coach is gone.
So many good openings in college football.
Brian Kelly's did not make no sense at all.
No.
They were winning. They had a pretty good team. You got to let the team play out the season first.
I was having a conversation with a buddy, Mike Knox, a week or so ago. They never should have let Coach O go. Ed Orgeron felt like the perfect fit for that school.
College is becoming too much like the NFL, and people just don't pay as much attention to it.
The NIL has changed the game. The transfer portal's changed the game.
But you got to eliminate those penalties. You see the referee there in the white hat, Dwayne Bourne. Don't waste any time. Special teams, trick plays, Nate. You can't have too many drops in this game. You got to learn how to manage the game, dust off and move on, pick up your teammate. And these are the games you remember, and don't burn any timeouts.
Well, that's the thing. A key thing you said right there, Greg, these are the games you remember. And why do you remember them? Because these opportunities don't come around often. They don't come around every single year. And so for some of these young men out there, this may be their last chance at a playoff game, so they got to make it count.
Last chance ever playing, maybe. The seniors. Not everybody's going to play in college.
Yeah.
4:39 left in the first quarter. 7-0 Warwick. Still anybody's ball game. We said the strength of Warwick was the defense. Just right there it showed. Warwick likes that 4-2 defense. Strength has been the defense. They did make the postseason last year. They lost to Mallard Creek, Oscar Smith, and Hampton this year. Their big win was against Phoebus. Past players like Joe Slade, Messiah Delhomme, Marcus Vick, and Delhomme has done very well for Maryland.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Messiah when he was here at Warwick, and now, we wish the young man all the best at that next level. And I think, if you're Maryland, you got to be pleased with this young man. He's only going to develop and get better.
Norview in the white, running. And Warwick's right there to stop him. Norview mixing it up a little bit at skill positions. Got to watch that field position. Third and fourth down accountability. Gaps are so important, Nate. Inside and outside. Expect the unexpected in the postseason. And, of course, Norview got that explosive play in special teams, but it got turned back.
That's what changed the drive right there, Greg, because if that play had stood, we'd be talking a different story right now. And again, wow.
And just like that, we talked about the big plays. Expect the unexpected. Safety here at Todd Stadium in Newport News.
The one thing you cannot do, Greg, when you're on the road, when you're trailing in a playoff game, is give the opponent extra opportunities because of your mistakes, and that was a crucial mistake right there for the Pilots.
Nothing in favor of the Warwick Raiders. They want every point they can get. And right now, that I'll tell you, folks, because I do it a lot during the week, that drive over 64 can be nauseating. And Norview had to deal with that on a Friday night. 99% of the public wasn't coming to this game. They were going everywhere in all directions. And what happens is the bridge tunnel is a work in progress. It's not as easy driving in the dark, and Norview right now is still shaking off that drive.
Well, and the thing is, that safety, that was a triple-edged sword, if you will, Greg, because they were just trying to punt to, play the field position game. So you failed on that aspect. You had the mistake that gave Warwick some points, and now you're giving the ball right back to Warwick. And so it's like you're hurt on 3 counts right there. We'll see if that was a crucial, pivotal moment of this game, or can Norview kind of climb back into this thing.
Let's ask Ryan a question. Ryan, what are your thoughts so far of Norview? They've really got to pick it up a notch.
Yes, sir, they do. I believe that if their offense is able to execute properly and get some of those screen passes and perimeter edge runs executed better, that they could actually start to move the ball down the field. But having to run the ball and pass against this pristine Warwick defense is going to improve hard tonight in this cold weather, I believe.
And you're a senior at Menchville, correct?
Yes, sir.
How are your grades so far?
Pretty good.
Very good. All right. That's a good answer.
A good answer.
That sounds like about Nate and I's GPA. I was never one to flaunt my GPA. My whole goal was to finish high school and to finish college.
I'm very much, the Jim Valvano, like I said, Greg, survive and advance. That's what high school was. That's what life is sometimes, just survive and advance.
Nate, both teams need to bring the energy, though.
Both teams do need to bring the energy. I think Norview needs to bring it more, though, because Warwick is more than happy to kind of sit back and just play this game out the way that it's been going so far. Norview is the one that has to bring the fight to the Raiders on the road.
Never easy winning on the road. 48 minutes, 3 timeouts per half. They don't carry over to the second half. Offense, defense, special teams has to be in sync. And right now, Warwick's in sync, scoring on special teams as well. And that's number 6 for the Raiders, Nate, and that's Tucker again.
Tucker just keeps on keeping on. Again, right now, they're not doing anything flashy. They're not doing anything fancy. It's just bread and butter. It's just simple peanut butter and jelly, toast and jam, straight up the middle, off the tackle. And then we're seeing Warwick is very content to have this methodical offense, just matriculate the ball down the field, wear down the clock, wear down the defensive front, and put some points on the board.
It's too early to think about next week. You got to get past this game first. Still the first quarter, 2:43 left. It's 9-0 in favor of Warwick. The Raiders have had great coaches like Thad Madden, Bill Lyons, A.C. Cawthorn, Corey Hairston, and, of course, past players like Cho Slade, Messiah Delhomme, Marcus Vick, Michael Vick. Norview, of course, David Martin, Jamar Whitley, Donovan Rose. Great former coaches in Herb Lawrence, Delton Cotton, Robert Turan. Again, Norview's played. This is their third Newport News team this year.
Yeah, and they've had mixed success so far. Right now they got a record of 1-1 against Newport News schools, trying to go to 2-1 against a tough Warwick team.
I like to see these Peninsula Southside rivalries.
Yeah, always a good matchup, always a good time. You know, I know our producer here, Ray Price, has an affinity, a soft spot for the schools on the south side, but it's always good to see, you know, the Newport News school teams meet up with the Norfolk schools.
The score right now is 9-0 with 1:35 left in the first quarter. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. High 40s here, Newport News, chilly weather. But that's what it's supposed to be like in the fall. Warwick's going for the bomb. Complete. Nice catch. And that was just thrown up for grabs.
Wow. Just how quickly that can happen. You wear them down with that run, and then that brings the defense. They start to creep up towards the line of scrimmage, and then you can go right over the top like we just saw by the Warwick Raiders. Norview actually had a decent pass rush on that particular play, but Warwick was able to evade that rush, get the ball down the field. Big-time play for the Raiders.
That was Ely, number 17, Nate.
Ely looking elite tonight, Greg.
Just like Danny DeVito talking about Eli. Eli's. Yeah. Where's the Penguin when you need to see him? Those two have great chemistry, by the way.
They do. I think Eli Manning has chemistry with everybody.
I think they need to put him on the Manning cast.
Danny DeVito?
Yes. But some of their guests lately have been really boring. I mean, Eli and Peyton are okay.
I mean, Bill Belichick can only be so exciting, Greg.
You can tell that Peyton definitely controls the show.
Yes, the older brother always does.
I mean, but they need to get Danny DeVito on for sure. I mean, he was one of the all-time great villains ever.
Mm. Was he your favorite Batman villain?
No, the Penguin on the HBO series was by far the best.
Okay. Colin Farrell.
Yes. He had to wear a mask and pretend like he was somebody else. And the extra point is up, and it's no good. 15-0. Warwick totally controlling the narrative, Nate.
Yeah, Warwick is not wearing a mask or a cape. They are exactly who we thought they were, to paraphrase the late, great Dennis Green.
And I think Norview's got to redo their scheme here.
Here is a time to kind of take a breath, woosah, get your mind right a little bit, reset, recalibrate. Greg, when you're driving in the GPS and you make a wrong turn, it's like recalibrating. That's what the Norview pilots need to do right now to get back on course.
Or the service engine light's on again.
Yes. You never want, whenever your service engine light comes on, you might want to go somewhere and get that looked at, get that checked out, and that's what the pilots need to do right now.
That's a good question. Let's just help our audience here. When the service engine light comes on, how serious is it?
So it's varying degrees of seriousness. Now, if your service engine light, it may be oil. You may need an oil service. You may need an engine service. But if it's flashing, definitely go somewhere as soon as you can. But yes.
If it's not flashing.
If you got a steady, a solid service light or a check engine light, I would recommend getting it checked out. But it's not as imminent as a flashing light, because the flashing light is trying to tell you something. It's like, hey, I need service. Somebody service me. So
you got to start with an oil change first.
And yes, oil change, regular oil changes, tire rotations, routine maintenance can help your car go farther. And this has been your mobile minute, your mobile maintenance minute.
Absolutely. With less than a minute left in the first quarter, Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. 15-0 Warwick. 37 seconds left. And you got to listen to your coaches. Play the ball and focus on yourself, not the opponent, especially if you're Norview and you need some big plays. Eliminate the penalties and turnovers. All three phases have to click And the big play is explosive. Nate, you talk about it, complementary football over and over again.
Right, and your three phases of your team can kind of feed off of each other. If the defense gets a good stop, that can hype the offense up. Special teams makes a great play. That can hype the defense up. They all can kind of feed off of each other. That complementary football, that's what we see from teams that have consistency, teams that have a great culture. And Warwick, like we said, they started off the season with a couple losses back-to-back, but over the course of the season, they've started to find themselves and start to get that culture going.
Don't forget sports highlights on the weekends at 9 a.m. and also Mondays at 7, 2, and 7 on Cox Cable 47, 517, all over YouTube. Watch it. Interview shows since February of 92. And that's one thing Norview can't do is go for trick plays when you're on your own side of the 50 and you're down 15-0.
It's tricky to rock a rhyme that's right on time, Greg. That's what Run DMC said. But the time for sports highlights is Mondays at 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m., or Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Have breakfast with Greg Bicaveras on Cox 47 and Verizon Fios 17.
And also YouTube and on demand. Norview's lucky they got the ball back. 2nd and 10. And they're going for the run, nowhere. It just seems like Warwick's got an answer for everything.
Warwick does, and I think part of the issue is Norview hasn't shown them anything that scares them yet. They haven't come out with a dominant running attack. They don't have the receiver that can just get behind the defenders and just scare them. So they have to commit to that pass. So right now, Warwick is content to just play their base defense, and they are doing a great job stifling the progress of the Pilots.
Norview in the white and blue, white shirts, white pants, and blue helmets. So we end one quarter. It's 15-0 in favor of Warwick. Stay tuned for the second quarter as we will return live on YouTube after these.
Whoa, man, you just hit my car.
Chill out, man. I didn't even hit your car.
I'll show you chill out.
That was a bit of an overreaction. In order to manage your anger better and make sure events like this don't happen to you, here are a few small pieces of advice that you can follow. Think before acting. Take deep breaths. By following just these two pieces of advice, we can all start to live much healthier, happier lives.
All right, back to live action right here. Greg Bicaveras, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. Right here, second quarter at Todd Stadium in Newport News. Our 35th season here, my 37th overall, Nate's 27th season. Looking just as good as you did in season one.
Thank you. Hey, my knees don't feel like they did back in season one, but we're still here, my friend, still able to call these exciting football matchups for the people out there.
Trying to get up these cement stairs, and we're glad to take 10 months off.
Just got to recover. All great athletes need time to recover, Greg.
Dwayne Bourne says penalty on the Pilots. And right now, you don't want to sail with the Pilot right now.
Pilot might need some more navigation right now to get back on course, get back on track, get back into this playoff game because, Yogi Berra once said, Greg, it gets late early. And if you get behind too far in this game, you might get yourself out of the position where you can make a comeback.
And time waits for nobody. Norview going left to right, down 15-0. And they get sacked. Warwick defense once again. The sandwich right there. That's number 53 for the Raiders. Corbin, C squared, Nate.
Christian Corbin, the 6'2 senior.
So let's ask Ryan, what happened this season to Menchville?
Well, that's kind of a hard question to answer because we believed that we were going to execute properly, and I feel like down the road we just kind of were front runners a little bit. So once we get behind the game, it's kind of hard for us to come back. But I believe that next year, with a lot of hard work over the offseason, the Menchville Monarchs next year will possibly be able to execute a lot more efficiently.
You guys did make the postseason last year, though.
Yes, sir, we did. We played Warwick, matter of fact, first round.
Good answer. Good answer.
He's refreshing.
He's polished.
That's the truth. He didn't say any false narratives there. Now, 23 was Menchville versus Warwick. 24, Granby played Warwick in the postseason that we did. And, of course, this year, Norview versus Warwick. So you guys were on the road last year.
So speak to that then, because we're seeing Norview on the road right now, Ryan. What kind of mind state, mentality do you have to bring to the game when you're the visiting team?
Well, you got to know that you're coming into a hostile environment, obviously. This team is used to playing here. You don't know how the crowd noise is going to be. You don't know if they're going to have their bands, how loud it's going to be, if you can execute properly, if you can hear what the plays being called, whatnot on offense. But honestly, you just got to make sure that you tune it out and just play as though you're playing in your home field or a neutral site, if anything.
All right, back to live action. Thank you so much, Ryan, for your commentary there and insight and refreshing. You said they didn't have a good season. He was just flat out honest. And, Nate, you went to Menchville, too.
Yes.
You're not happy about it either.
I was going to say, I don't want to say I hurt more than you did, Ryan, because you were on the field, but emotionally, as a once a Monarch, always a Monarch, I was hurting for you guys.
Sloppy punt. And it looks like Norview will get it back. You gotta hold on to that ball. We'll wait and see what the call is. But it's 4 quarters, and you can't let up. It's only a 2-score ball game.
Yeah. As bad as things have gone thus far for the Pilots, they are still in this contest. And like Ryan was saying, if you're the visiting team, you got to reset, block out all that noise as much as it may be out here at Todd Stadium, and you got to come out here and fight.
As far as the Hampton schools, all made the postseason, did very well, except Kickingham had a very rough year.
Yeah.
And Newport News, obviously, Heritage of Menchville did not make it. Menchville did make the last several years.
So Menchville's loss is our gain, though, because Ryan gets to hang out with us in the booth. He could be on the road somewhere right now.
Screen pass overthrown. And those are the types of plays and catches you got to make. The postseason is not game number 1.
Well, what I'm seeing right here, like if I'm Warwick, what that tells me, because the majority of Norview's offense thus far has been screen passes, trick plays, various RPO wrinkles that they're trying to throw out there. You're not secure in your identity. You don't have one thing that you do better than anybody, and so I don't have to worry about that. Like, you don't have this bruising runner that's going to wear us out like Jonathan Taylor. You don't have this freak of nature at wide receiver, like Amon-Ra St. Brown that we have to be aware of. And so we can just play our normal defense and shut you down going head-to-head.
And I was at that Lions game last week, and they totally control the narrative over Washington. That is for sure.
It's been a rough season for the Commanders.
It really has. They've gone from really good to really bad in 1 year. And see, the problem is, too, people kept on criticizing RG3, but Daniels is very fragile. He's already had a calf, a knee, and now an elbow, and he can only take but so much.
Well, that's the thing you always worry about with any of these quarterbacks now, because they're all kind of in the same mold, whether you're talking about a Jaden Daniels or a Jackson Dart or even a Brock Purdy who's coming back off of injury, just the durability factor. And we know Jaden Daniels, when healthy, can play. He led that team to the playoffs, but if you're not on the field, your team's not going to have success. Wow.
Nice run by Norview, but you got to hold on to that ball. They dropped it. And that's a lack of focus right there. And you look at the Norview side, there's very few players on the bench.
Yeah, they in terms of the manpower, the sheer number of players for the Norview Pilots, it's pales in comparison to the team the Raiders are putting out there tonight. And so, yeah, simple mistakes, not executing, mental errors. Those are the things that can hurt you in the long run when it comes to advancing in the postseason.
Like Nate said, eliminate the penalties and turnovers. All three phases have to click. You got to stay focused. Convert in third and fourth downs. Don't wait to the last quarter to make a comeback. And avoid those mistakes and execute much better if you're Norview. Take advantage of these opportunities if you're Warwick. The RPO by number 12 for Warwick. White Epps incomplete. And the thing is, Warwick cannot play to their opponent either. Their opponent next week is going to be better if they win.
Yeah. And Epps, freshman, like he's got a lot of good years ahead of him here for this Warwick Raider squad, Greg. But you're right. You know, you can't play up or down to the level of your competition. You got to play your game, run your race. And Epps, you know, again, we saw how great he was as a freshman. Now in his second year as a sophomore, we're seeing the skill set. But again, this young player has plenty of time to develop.
That's him right there, number 12. But you want anybody to get in harm's way.
Yeah. Like once you get to the postseason, you're like you're a whole grade higher regardless
but
of where
look
you
at
are.
the depth. Look at those yellow uniforms on the bench.
Yeah.
Warwick in the yellow and white. So much more depth than Norview does. And, you know, give a chance to get kids a breather, too. I mean, this is game 11. They're tired. Both teams are. Norview had to travel all the way from Norfolk. That's not easy on a Friday night, folks.
No.
Rush hour traffic. The tunnel's still under construction. Who knows when that'll be fixed? Heck, the new Washington Stadium might get fixed before
that
the tunnel
will be finished when Ryan is our age, Greg. That is about the time frame we're looking at.
That's a long time from now. Although Ryan's acting like he's about 40 tonight as well.
Ryan does. He kind of gives off like, and don't take this the wrong way, Ryan, like a young Terry Bradshaw kind of swag.
He reminds me of a young Brian Billick.
Oh, okay, young Brian Billick.
The former Ravens coach.
I think we're in the same ballpark there.
Take a look at Brian Billick on YouTube. Ryan, he always talked about parameters all the time. All right, we got an injury right now. Well, let's hope for the best. And with that said, it is 9:19 left till halftime. Warwick's up 15-0 over the team from Norfolk, Norview. Stay tuned.
I've been rising up and advancing in my classes.
I've been rising up to be the best student athlete I can be.
I'm rising up as a leader in my school.
I'm rising up to prepare for my future career.
We are all rising up and preparing ourselves for success, thanks to our dedicated teachers and staff in Newport News Public Schools.
Rise up!
Whoa, man, you just hit my car.
Chill out, man. I didn't even hit your car.
I'll show you chill out.
That was a bit of an overreaction. In order to manage your anger better and make sure events like this don't happen to you, here are a few small pieces of advice that you can follow. Think before acting. Take deep breaths. By following just these 2 pieces of advice, we can all start to live much healthier, happier lives.
All right, back to live action. Second quarter, 15-0, and props go to the injured player, Hayden Luther, and we wish him all the best in recovery. 15-0 in favor of Warwick.
All right, Ryan. We got the scoring recap. You know, normally this is my thing, but I'm giving back to the younger generation. So could you update the audience on the scoring so far?
Yes, sir. So far, first we had a Warwick touchdown by number 12, Zaire White Epps. That was a run up the middle. It was more of a QB sneak. Secondly, we had a Warwick safety off of a high punt snap from Norview. And number 10, Tracy Pope, made the tackle in the end zone. And then after that, we had a Warwick touchdown by, yet again, number 12, Zaire White Epps for another QB sneak. And they missed the PAT after that.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan.
And, of course, don't wait till that last quarter to start making a comeback. Take advantage of these opportunities for both teams. I'm looking for bench support for both teams as well. You never know when your number is going to be called. Back to that RPO for Warwick. They like to do that spread. Down the sideline they go. Off to the races. Touchdown Raiders. White Epps again. TD.
Woo.
But we'll see if he goes out of bounds.
Get a double check to make sure.
They might have been a little bit on the outer rim right there. So they'll call that back.
But they love running off of that.
Good effort anyway.
Yeah, good effort. They love running off of that right side, though. We've seen that multiple times this evening. That's where a lot of their explosive runs have happened.
But you got to have that killer instinct if you're Warwick. You just got to keep that foot on the gas pedal because, trust me, whoever they play next is not as forgiving as Norview is. You know, show no mercy. This is the playoffs. Always good sportsmanship, but only one team wins.
So I see you were a fan of Cobra Kai back in the day, Greg. No mercy.
That's more like Darth Vader. Cobra Kai had nothing on Darth Vader.
The force is strong with this team.
And Obi-Wan never once thought as you did, Nate. You don't know the power of Warwick.
So what you're saying is Coach Sykes is the Jedi Master for the young Padawans.
There we go. Warwick honoring some of their past players. That's great. Love to see it.
So much tradition here in the Newport News School District. For those that may be watching in other cities, in other states, overseas, again, we had a great week for Veterans Day. Shout out to all of our men and women in uniform. Thank you for doing what you do that allows us the freedom to have fun like we do on games like this. But this is what Newport News football is all about, folks.
Nate and I always talk about the past players, too. And, of course, Ray Savage, Derek Steele. Ray Savage coached Menchville, too. He played for Warwick and Bill Lyons, who also coached at Oscar Smith as well. Warwick had some great teams in the 80s. Never quite got over the hump in the 90s against Bethel and Hampton. But even Menchville gave Warwick fits in the 90s, too.
Yeah, a lot of parodies in Newport News in the 90s. And, again, you got to, look at some of those Tommy Reeman teams, late, great Tommy Reeman. When you look at Michael Vick, Marcus Vick, some of those players, man. Just a lot of history and tradition here at Warwick High School.
Of course, Warwick had teams in the 70s and 80s, too, under Thad Madden and Bill Lyons. Warwick in the yellow and white. And we got a stoppage in play at 6:56 left till halftime. Nate, and of course, you talk about some of the other activities going on too as well. Warwick beat Bethel, Heritage, Phoebus, Menchville, Woodside, Denby, and Kickingham. They lost to Mallard Creek, Oscar Smith, and Hampton. But those 3 games helped mature Warwick.
Yeah, and the thing is, Warwick beat the teams they were supposed to beat. No offense, Ryan. But when, the 3 losses that they had, they lost to Oscar Smith, who's a perennial powerhouse. They lost to Mallard Creek, who's a very strong team out of Charlotte. And they lost to Hampton, who may be the best team on the peninsula this year. And so those 3 losses, as much as they hated that loss against Hampton, which they were leading, they were up by 14 at one point and let it slip away. That one's got to hurt, but they've had a very solid, very successful season, and they don't want to go one and done in the playoffs, so they got to keep their foot on the gas, as you said earlier, take those lessons from the losses and apply them to tonight so they don't fall into the same trap.
Warwick trying to add some juice here late in the second quarter, keeping it on the ground. Number 2 for the Raiders. And that was Meredith. That's one thing the Commanders have not had a good running game at all this year.
That's the thing. That's why they're so dependent on what Jaden Daniels could do with his legs, and partly, in my opinion, why that wear and tear accumulated and he's out right now. But when you don't have a solid running game, it's very hard on a young quarterback.
And Nate, what advice would you give to Washington? Because they're going through the same thing they did with RG3. All over again.
I'm going to say, protect the quarterback. Very simple. Invest in your offensive line. Invest in your running backs. Get a complimentary receiver. I love Debo Samuel, but he's not what he once was. Scary Terry's getting a little bit older, Terry McLaurin. So get a young receiver. Get some big, beefy guys on the line to protect him, and get him a solid number 1 running back, and I think he'll be all right.
And McLaurin has not been the same since he wanted that more contract.
He got his money, though, Greg.
He's been sitting on the bench.
He can sit a little bit more comfortably, though, with that pay raise.
5:58 left till halftime. Greg Picavera, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. And other games we're looking at tonight, Granby and Kings Fork. Woodside's got to play Maury. Norview and Warwick right here. Bethel and Nansemond River. What did you think about Bethel this year?
I thought they were pretty good. They got that number 20 running back. He's just so fast. Amari Pryor, I believe his name is. I think without him, I don't think they'd be where they are now, but of course they do have him. So I think with him leading the offense, they might get a few games in the playoffs, maybe even make a deep run.
All right, that kick is up, and it's good. Good point there. 18-0, Warwick in control. But you want to see Warwick have that killer instinct. This is not practice. You don't want them to go through the motions. You want to go for blood.
In the words of the great Allen Iverson, practice. We talking about practice, Greg? Not the game. Not the game that these young men are playing. We talking about practice, man. But, for Warwick, obviously they wanted to come away with 6 there instead of 3. But as long as you're scoring, as long as you're getting scoring drives in the postseason, again, doesn't matter if you win by 3 or you win by 30. As long as you get the win, that's what the Raiders want to see tonight.
Absolutely. And we'll give you normally our 3 college and NFL games to keep an eye on this weekend. Whereas we're in the middle of the high school postseason playoffs. And, of course, Wisconsin plays Indiana, might be the hottest team in college football. South Carolina plays Texas A&M. Notre Dame takes on Pitt. Whew. NFL has got some great games. The Commanders and the Dolphins, both 3-7, playing overseas. The Buccaneers and the Bills. And the Cowboys and the Raiders go at it Monday night. Nate, I got to bring up your Falcons, of course, as well. They take on the Panthers. And the Panthers had the Falcons' number earlier this year.
Yeah, they sure did. That number was 30 points to 0 points. Don't remind me. My sister's a big Panthers fan, and she won't let me forget it. But the Falcons are one of the most, topsy-turvy teams you could see. They've got all the talent in the world. They play close games, but they can't seem to get it over the finish line this season.
I remember when the Falcons had Barkowski as their quarterback. They've had great players over the years. Their red helmets might be one of the better helmets ever in the NFL, but they don't wear them that often.
No, they don't. And here's the crazy thing. Whenever they wear those throwbacks, I think they've got a record of like 9-1 wearing those throwbacks. So wear them all the time, Atlanta.
Norview just trying to get some juice going here late in the second quarter. And, of course, back in the day, the Falcons would wear the red helmets, the red shirts, and the gray pants.
Yep. The good old days of yore. You mentioned Barkowski, some of the players I remember growing up watching. Of course, primetime, Deion Sanders, Andre Rison.
And he knew Left Eye too, right?
Yeah, you could say that. He knew Left Eye, and Left Eye knew her way around a box of matches, and that's all we'll say about that.
Exactly. Got to have a little fun up here.
That's a reference that's about 20 years too old for Ryan.
And both of them are too old now, too.
Rest in peace to Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
Ryan can just Google it. Nice run by Norview. And that's number 8. And number 8, of course, is Vaughn. Norview, of course, coached by Carolyn Farabee, likes that spread offense, 4-3 defense. The strength you just saw is the quarterback. Weakness has been they got to button up the secondary. Their last game, they lost to Lake Taylor. Lake Taylor and Maury have been the principal schools of Norfolk.
Yeah, those are kind of the big guys on the block that the other schools in Norfolk kind of have to climb that mountain to usurp those positions. Very much like here in Newport News. Again, no offense, Ryan, but we're looking at Warwick, and Heritage for a while. We're kind of the big bullies on the block in Newport News.
Flags all over the place, and we've got 4:48 left in quarter number 2. Nate's been a fun 5 games this year.
It has been a great 5 games, man, and we're so happy to be able to bring you this playoff game between the Warwick Raiders and the Norview Pilots. And again, shout out to everybody watching worldwide from Boston to Boise, Fargo to Fresno, New York to New Orleans, and all points in between. Shout out to my guy Dave out in Richmond. But you are watching Prep Football here on NNPS TV, NNPS Telecom on YouTube.
And, of course, we got Norview and Warwick tonight. We brought to you Denby and Woodside. We brought to you Heritage and Menchville. We brought to you Menchville and Denby. And, of course, Oscar Smith and Warwick had over 6,100 viewers on YouTube.
That was a fun way to start the year.
So glad you're with us all over the world.
Here's a question I've always wondered, Ryan. So we obviously, Greg just mentioned, we did 2 Menchville games this year. As a player, are you cognizant that your game is being televised? Is that something that comes into the players' minds, even a little bit?
No, sir, not usually, especially since we're only in high school. I mean, if I wasn't in this telecom class over across the street, I wouldn't even know it was being televised.
Okay. I like that. My man has said, hey, I'm here to play the game. He said, I'm not worried about the glitz and the glamour. I'm focused on the game. That's what I like to hear.
Yes, sir. I tell it like it is. 18-0 in favor of Warwick.
But now that you know, you can tell all your friends and share it and then let everybody know that we're covering this game, big-time playoff stakes, NNPS Telecom on YouTube.
And the field looks just as good as it did in week 1. Absolutely. And you can sense Warwick knows they've got this, but they can't be lackadaisical if they play another team that starts with an M next week.
Yeah. Well, you can't even be lackadaisical in this game, Greg. Like we saw, they were up 14 on Hampton. And how did that turn out for Warwick? Like, it's not probable that it's going to happen, but it is a possibility. It is something that could happen if Warwick takes their eye off the ball, takes their mind off of the goal.
Nice run right there by the Raiders. Flags all over the place. You got to make those tackles.
Wow.
Warwick looking like a video game. That was Tucker.
If it stands, we'll see. Nice moves by Damian, but we'll see if they stand.
Warwick went 7-3 during the year. Norview went 5-5. Like we said earlier, they beat Woodside but lost to Denby. They lost to Maury and Lake Taylor, as so many schools do. Norview in the white, Warwick in the yellow. Like we said, the last several years of the postseason, we had Menchville and Warwick, Granby and Warwick last year, and Norview and Warwick. And that's the thing, Nate. People want to see more than Warwick evolve in Newport News.
Yeah.
You know, it's time for Woodside. It's time for Denby to evolve.
Yeah, Woodside.
Denby's having their best year, though, in a long time.
And Denby may have the best quarterback of the bunch.
And Denby,
when you look at Kay Peasy.
This is their best football coach Denby's had since the late Matt Boone was coaching the team. That's pretty impressive. They've got a keeper in Raymond Malone. He's an excellent young coach for Denby. And they have the best quarterback in Newport News. I'm looking for big things for Denby next year.
And that play did stand. There was a penalty on Norview for the face mask.
And Denby's playing Lafayette. We'll see if we can get you some scores here. $18-0. Penalty on the Raiders, who are so used to playing here. Even when they play an opponent from Newport News, they're still playing here at Todd Stadium. While the Virginia Beach schools and Chesapeake schools, a lot of times they play at their own school. Norfolk has got Powelltown Field.
Yeah. And, you know, Todd Stadium has been this thing that has been an institution, you know, for years and years.
The field's nice. We'll leave it at that.
Yes. We'd love to see the stands a bit more packed. I'll say it, Greg. Like, you know, if you've got a team in the postseason, you need to be out here rooting your team on. Like, I can get it that Norview didn't travel well because who wants to cross the bridge this time of night? You know, but Warwick, Menchville, Heritage, Woodside, Denby, when your teams are out here playing, yes, we put it on TV, yes, we put it on the YouTube, but you need to come out here and support these young men because they're working hard.
So glad you're with us. 3:38 left. Warwick trying to add to the cushion. See, in high school, once you go down, you're down. In college, the NFL, you got to be touched. And if, let's say, you know, you fall down on your own, you can still get back up.
That's a metaphor for life, Greg. If you fall down, you can get back up.
That's it. And Dwayne Bourne doing a great job as the referee for the game tonight. Dwayne gets the game moving. He doesn't call nefarious penalties. And Dwayne's doing a great job, the referee with the white cap, folks.
Yes.
Got to give props to Dwayne.
Good word choice there, Greg Bicaveras.
Absolutely. Warwick trying to add to the cushion. Incomplete. 18-zip. Nate, go ahead and give us a recap, the full recap.
All right, so.
The best you can, Nate.
To the best of my abilities. Hey, it's been all Warwick tonight, folks, starting off with the quarterback sneak that put him up. Then we saw the safety. Like, I think, you know, that was a key moment that we saw early on in the game, that safety. Then we had the big pass downfield that led to another run by, was it White? White with the run. And just Warwick has been so intense and so successful so far tonight.
And we got some great scores going on as well. And there's adding to the resume there, 21-0 with 2:43 left to intermission.
Tyler Rude, a.k.a. Tyler the Creator, creating points right there for the Warwick Raiders.
Hampton's beating Manor right now. Kings Forks over Granby. And we'll be getting more scores as the game goes on. Pocosin leads Greenville. Remember, these are playoffs. There's no tomorrow for none of these teams if you lose.
So win or go home. In the case of Warwick, if they were to lose, win and stay home. Or win or stay home.
Score is now 21-0 in favor of the Raiders. Nate, and again, you know, that's the thing. You don't want to play like you're bored. You got to keep that juice going for another 24 minutes and 2:43 left in the second quarter. And we'll bring in, you know, the kid in again, Ryan. You got to keep your energy up for 4 quarters.
Yes, sir. I do believe that is absolutely correct. I believe this Norview defensive line so far has been able to gain some traction and stop the run in the red zone, which has caused Warwick to have to take 2 field goals, which is still points, but you'd much rather have 14 over 6. So I believe that if Warwick gets complacent and doesn't move the ball as efficiently as they can, this game's going to be tougher than they thought it was.
And the thing is, they've got to – now Norview, your defense is starting to step up. Your offense has to respond in kind. You got to get some semblance of points on the board as this first half starts to dwindle down, because you don't want to go in with a deficit this big to the Warwick Raiders.
All right, 2:34 left till halftime. Again, Warwick wants to keep the foot on the pedal. We've worked all offseason for these moments. These are precious moments. And like we said, Washington's got a big game against the Dolphins. Now, they're supposed to play the Broncos on the 30th on prime time, but it might get flexed if they keep losing Washington, because you want relevant teams playing on Sunday night.
Yeah. Don't subject me to the Dolphins and the
No, the Dolphins have never been the same since the Dolphin logo changed. You know, at least the Falcons have kept the same logo.
So you're saying the logo change, that took some of the spirit
It did.
from the Miami
From
Dolphins.
Don Shula, Bob Greasy, Dan Marino. It did. It's not the same color uniforms.
Yeah.
But you can't mess with the logo. You just can't do it. Norview needs some type of spark. Like I said, Carlin Farabee went to Norfolk State. He's the head coach. Thomas Sykes, the head coach of the Raiders.
The Norview offense right now, Greg, resembling a turkey at Brandon Hedgepeth's house on Thanksgiving morning. It is stuffed. It is stuffed. It is not moving at all right now.
.121 left till halftime. Also, the Bengals play the Steelers, Bears, Vikings, Texans, and Titans as well. Some other good games. And, of course, the Giants got rid of their coach, too, Brian Daboll.
Yeah, Brian Daboll.
Where's the patience at?
Got rid of Brian Daboll, and they've got a new starting quarterback this week, making the change from Russell Wilson, who was filling in for the injured Jackson Dart. Now they're going with Jameis Winston. So I don't know if they're going to win, Greg, but at least it won't be boring with Jameis Winston.
No, he likes interceptions.
He'll give you 5 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in the same game.
We like to have a comedy show up here too, folks. That punt goes nowhere.
Wow.
And really, it almost seems like Warwick's like, we got this. Let's move on to next week. They still have a second half left. You know, one game at a time, 1 quarter at a time. I think the MVP really is the referee. I'm so impressed by Dwayne Bourne. I mean, he needs to referee more often. And Norview just has not gotten off the bus yet. These kids are used to playing Granby and Maury and Lake Taylor. It's not always easy, but, you know, it's their 3rd Newport News school they played. Like we mentioned, they beat Woodside, lost to Denby. 4th down.
Wow.
Could it be another safety? It is another safety.
Wow.
SOS. Nate, help save the ship.
Mayday, mayday. The pilots are in trouble. Again, this is the second. Like, it's very rare you're going to see one safety off of a punt attempt. We got 2 in the first half, folks.
The Air Force has got to help the Navy out here.
Wow.
Well, anyway, you give it all. That's all you can do. But, if you're Norview, you look at the side of their sideline, they just don't have that many players. It's almost like a basketball roster out there.
Yeah, a lot of players playing both ways, playing the full game. And so, yeah, obviously fatigue is something we talk often about, Greg, and how, you come out early in that first quarter and you got all that energy, all that adrenaline going. But if the more you stand on the sideline, the more this game goes on, it's cold out there, folks. That energy, that bravado, that adrenaline starts to wear off a little bit, and we're seeing it from the Norview Pilots. They just aren't showing me that energy, that drive that they need to if they want to win this playoff game.
You've got to have clarity, conviction, and consistency. The 3 C's. Clarity, you got to be focused, got to have conviction in what you're doing, and be consistent. You can't just show up.
Nope.
1:11 left till halftime. Nate and I look forward to the break.
I think Norview's going to look forward to this break the way things have been going so far.
Norview on the kick might be the best thing all day and all night for Norview is that kick. And Warwick gets it right across the 20, and that's about where they go backwards. That was number 7, Crittenden.
With a little bit over a minute left to go, Greg, you still got a chance to get some points on the board if you're the Warwick Raiders.
We just taped our December and January edition of Sports Highlights back in the studio. That was a lot of fun. And, of course, we got the Menchville field hockey coach on this month, as well as Glenn Ritter, the very successful volleyball coach. Menchville's volleyball team had more exposure than anything else on YouTube this year.
Rightfully so.
The good thing is you can watch and learn about fundamentals of volleyball. Volleyball is such a fun sport. Kind of reminds me of tennis and badminton and racquetball, all kind of and all kind of combined in one.
I'm telling you, back to my high school days, like when we did volleyball in the gym, that was the best time. You just rotate, and then you just kind of wait your turn till you get to serve again.
Daylight, looking like Emerson Boozer. Warwick scoring again. Woo. We're not on Channel 6, but that was number 6. Tucker again.
Wow.
Don't forget, folks, Warwick can make this a running clock. Late flag.
Wow.
Probably celebrating.
Wow, you said that man's name was Tucker. That's Damian Tucker. That's what you told me, Greg. But right there, I saw Harry Belafonte Jr. because he got a little bit of daylight. Daylight came, and he wanted to go home. He took it to the house. Amazing, amazing special teams play by the Warwick Raiders.
And he tap danced like Sammy Davis Jr. Nobody can tap dance better than Sammy Davis Jr.
Wow.
29 zip. We'll see if Dwayne Bourne lets it go. Honoring Derek Steele here, who played with Ray Savage, and the coach of Warwick back then was Bill Lyons. Boy, when we first started doing the games with Warwick back in the early 90s, Warwick, of course, they had that chip on their shoulder because they could never beat Bethel and Hampton.
Yeah.
And finally they started beating up on the Newport U schools. Then Menchville got really good, and they beat up on Warwick.
That's the thing. Like, in the Newport U schools, it's always been like this war of attrition where, Warwick was good, then Menchville was good for a while. Denby had some good teams back in the day. Of course, Heritage, the only school with that chip, with that championship trophy hanging out there.
And that was number 40, Reuter, and he gets the ride home. The extra point is up, and it's good. 30-0 in favor of the Raiders.
how quickly things have turned around. Big time play by the Warwick Raiders on special teams. Real quick, Ryan, final thoughts as we're heading towards the half. What does a play like that on special teams, what does that do to the rest of the team?
Well, it kind of takes the steam out of Norview's sails. Sorry, that's the wrong saying, but it kind of takes the wind out of their sails because you're down 21-0 and you're looking in a good position. You know, going to halftime, I've been in a lot of blowout losses, so 21-0 isn't too bad of a deficit. But then you get the high snap, you get a safety, and then immediately 80-yard run for a touchdown. It just completely flips the momentum and makes Warwick seem a lot more confident than they were a few minutes ago.
Ryan Ross sounded like Brian Billick up here.
Ryan, is it safe to say an expert on lopsided losses at this point? Unfortunately, but it's all right. Hey, Minchfield, we will be better next year.
Ryan, just remember, you did make the postseason last year. All right, 30-0 in favor of the Raiders. And the Raiders, have to realize they turn the juice on when they have to, but next weekend they have to turn it on for 4 quarters.
Right. I think folks out there watching, Greg, they can understand, it's getting cold, so you'll turn the heat on when you need to. But if you're out for work, if you're going out for something, you don't need the heat on, and that's kind of how Warwick has been tonight. They turn the lights on, turn the heat on when they need to, but other than that, they just kind of been coasting and cruising and looking like they're winning tonight.
And the Norfolk kids and the Virginia Beach kids have always had that speed and that juice on them. Growing up on Granby Street, Virginia Beach Boulevard, they got so many resources over there. Virginia Beach has 11 high schools themselves. I mean, that's 11. That's more than Newport News and Hampton combined. And there's so many opportunities with Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, so many opportunities, so many chances for young men and young women to get involved in sports and in these athletic pursuits.
45 seconds. Norview just, if I was them, I would not try to get a penalty or turnover here. Just go in the locker room down 30-0, but they're going to go for broke. And I told you they should have kept it as it is. If somehow Warwick can get a touchdown, it'll be a running clock in the third quarter.
Wow.
That's not what you wanted to do if you were the Norview Pilots.
The first thing they teach you, Greg, when you're in a hole, I'm not some type of wilderness expert or anything like that, but if you're in a hole, the first thing they tell you, stop digging. Stop digging. Find a rope, try to get out some way, but Norview continues to fall deeper and deeper into this hole, and a lot of these are unforced errors that could have been avoided.
You're talking about Belafonte. Remember Alexander O'Neill talking about criticizing everybody all the time, too. I mean, we got all the great classic songs up here tonight. Nobody gave Alexander O'Neill the credit he deserved. No. I mean, he was way above his time.
That's some great songs.
And then, sports and food go with TV and music and all that stuff. It's all a big part of the culture. Warwick trying to add on to the dice. Flea flicker. Incomplete.
Wow. Now they just having fun.
Flags down. It almost seems like Sandlot football now.
Yeah, now's the time we can kind of experiment, kind of tinker with some things. And we're seeing Warwick is invigorated. As Ryan was saying earlier, man, when you get that boost from special teams, it just does something to the rest of the team. And then you compound that with the interception, and now the offense has 20 seconds to try to get into scoring position. Everything's going great for Warwick right now.
Warwick's got the ball. Greg Piccaveras, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. Late in the second quarter, 29 seconds, 30-0 in favor of the yellow and white Raiders. They're still trying to score.
Yeah, and that was a DPI, defensive pass interference, on the Norview Pilots. So, it's been a bad last 5 minutes for the Norview Pilots, man. They will need to get to the locker room as soon as they can to kind of reset, regroup, and recalibrate, because it's going to be a long night.
They got the end on their helmet for Norview. Warwick with the football. Still trying to score. And there he is, number 6. Not on Channel 6, but he's trying to get back on Channel 6. Unbelievable. We are going to have a running clock.
Wow.
To start the third quarter.
In the playoffs.
They want Ray and I to go to our next assignment right now.
Wow, Tucker does it again.
Unbelievable. Trying to bring back memories of Channel 6.
I think the N on the pilot's helmets now, it's gone from standing for Norview to not again, because it's this replay that keeps going and going, and it's just been one mistake leads to another, which leads to a Warwick score. We've seen that about 3 times in a row now, folks.
Warwick will be kicking. This is number 40. Reuter. Kick is up, and it's no good. 36 zip. So glad you're with us for postseason football, year number 35 in Newport News. Postseason football always adds a little bit pep to everybody's step, Nate.
Absolutely. Adds a little pep to your step, gives you a little bit more momentum, a little forward momentum. Want to send a shout out to Kalina, who's out there watching in Newport News, Virginia. Appreciate the support here for NNPS Telecom. A lot of great folks watching tonight, both in the city, Greg, and also, as we mentioned, worldwide via YouTube and the magic of the internet.
We might do a fourth quarter shout out a little bit later. Our last football game of the season. Appreciate Mr. Price and all his great crew. Great threesome we are, Nate, Ray, and myself, and the great crew that we have working with us each and every year. In fact, we have had classic crews too, like Paul Cummings and Dan Dooley and Greg Swan, Danny Slayman, Bill Barlow. And of course, we'll get to our crew list too. But we've had a lot of great crews over the years. The late Verba Jones. Norview just trying to get some credibility here. And Carlin Farabee didn't want to finish out this way for Norview, but they'll be back as they try to gain the momentum. You have so many different kids playing so many different sports. It's hard to, like you said, offense, defense. You get exhausted. You only have so much time in the day. Then you got to turn around and play basketball. You have nothing left in the tank.
No.
Nothing.
and we're seeing it right now. Again, when you have a limited roster, a limited supply of players like Norview does, that fatigue can be a factor in the game. And right now, if I'm Norview, let's take a knee, fellas. Let's take the knee, let the clock run out, go in the locker room, and game plan to see if there's some way we can get back into this contest.
Norview,
or not.
Not listening to Nate tonight. And that's halftime with the score. It is Warwick 36, Norview zilch. And we got a special presentation coming up at halftime as they're going to honor one of the former Warwick football players. It looks like his entire team is with him tonight. Friends and family. Derek Steele, of course, he played for the University of Maryland, just kind of like Messiah Delhomme does now. Nate, stay right here before we take our break. And, of course, they're going to unveil something as well, which is very nice, here at Todd Stadium. I'm glad everybody's on their feet. These guys are no spring chickens anymore. Some are walking with canes, you can tell that.
They are, but they're the important thing, Greg, they're walking as a team.
Yes.
They're going out here to support their fallen brother, and it means a lot. Those bonds that you form in the locker room, those bonds that you form on the practice field during the summer going into the fall, even if it's been 10, 20, 30 years since you played together, though those bonds still remain.
Yep. Warwick had some great basketball teams back then under Jim Harvey as well. And the Warwick Raiders honoring Derek Steele and his great Warwick teams.
We're seeing jersey number 77, and
Great friends with Ray Savage, who also coached at the Menchville Monarchs too. Great to see the brotherhood, unity, and all of them collaborate too as well. That collaboration is so important. And he's in tears tonight. Absolutely. Very good. Enjoyed the halftime festivities. They now come back for the third quarter.
Defensive tackle. In 1986, he was also an honorable mention All-American. He played defensive tackle at the University of Maryland from 1988 to 1991. Drafted in the 7th round of the 1992 NFL Draft. He played 2 seasons with the Indianapolis Colts, 1 season with the Washington Redskins, 3 years in the Canadian Football League, and 1 season in the American Arena Football League. Most recently, Derek was employed with the International Longshoremen Association, but retired due to medical reasons. On behalf of Derek Steele, I'd like to say a few words. First, he'd like to welcome and acknowledge a good friend of his and former teammate at the University of Maryland, Ed Tomlin, with us today. And these words written by Derek. On behalf of my class of 1987 teammates, I want to especially thank the following players. Current coach David Carmichael, Kevin Bird, Vincent Lassiter, Chris Bottoms, Terry Shepard, Chris Barfield, Calvin Massey, Glenn Rogers, and then he'd also like to thank, these were not members of the 87 class, but teammates nonetheless, Joe Prince, Larry Orey, BB Moeller, Chris Boyd, along with Coach Jackson, Coach Jacobs, the late Coach Quillen, Coach Feldman, and the head coach of the 1987 Raiders, Bill Lyon. Ladies and gentlemen, Derek Steele. Forever a Raider. Derek Steele, congratulations. Love you, Brute.
Oh, listen, hold. Oh, say it again, Coach. I'm a Warwick Raider. I couldn't be prouder. If you don't believe me, I'll yell a little louder. I'm a Warwick Raider. Couldn't be prouder. If you don't believe me, I'll yell a little louder. Yeah.
All 5 schools in Newport News. Thank you all so much for taking the time and the energy.
We going back over there and take more pictures. We going back over there and take more pictures. Hey,
a great representation of the school, of his classmates, and of the Warwick Raiders football.
Just them, y'all. Just them right now. Hey, where you at? Where my man? Get inside. Where my man? Yeah, just them. Oh, Coach Jackson.
Excuse me, bro.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Go on, crap.
Wait, Daddy, one more time.
All the coaches.
All right, welcome back to the third quarter. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. 36-0. Nate, it's been all Raiders in the first half. They've won it kind of methodical, not with a lot of energy, but they're getting the job done.
They are getting the job done, Greg. We are seeing domination, and this here is what you call domination. It's a combination of skill and concentration. So Warwick probably going to come out of this halftime locker room juiced and ready to play, especially after that touching jersey retirement ceremony for their forefather, their ancestor here in the burgundy and gold.
And, of course, Norview, Nate, they've got to pick up their energy. What are the keys for them? It's probably just as much mental.
Well, it's the old, I go back to this every year, Greg, and it's fitting for this time of year. The old stop-motion Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. When he's out there, you put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. They got to put one foot in front of the other, walk before they can crawl, crawl before they can walk, and then walk before they can run. Because they just got to make one good thing happen positively.
And the Raiders got to keep on keeping on.
Raiders just got to keep doing what they're doing.
It's our fifth game of the fall. Glad you're with us. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, right here on NNPS on Telecom. $11:35 left here, and the clock rolls with a running clock. Nate, do you like those rules of the running clock once you're up 35-0 in the second half?
And here's the thing, Greg. We all want to see the competition out there. We all want to see these young men excel in this sport. But there are times where some of the two most beautiful words in the English language can be running clock. When you see a team that's outmatched, when you see a team that's overmatched, sometimes it's best to, kind of speed up the inevitable and get to the fireworks factory, as Milhouse said on The Simpsons, man. And it's no shade, it's no slight to teams like Norview or like Minchville at some points this year. But why prolong the suffering?
Absolutely. Always let the best team win. Somebody's got to win or lose. The Newport News team is dominating the Norfolk team tonight. But, of course, Maury is not as forgiving as Norview is. Of course, Ray and Nate will go over the crew list here in the fourth quarter.
Mentioned Maury, the alma mater of one Ray Price.
All right, here we go again. The gas is on the pedal.
Woo.
And the pedal is on the gas. Absolutely.
Wow.
Number 2 for the Raiders. Everything is going right. That's Meredith. They got premium gas going on tonight. And that stuff is not cheap, no matter what.
Spending money on premium gas
Nate,
in this economy?
This is not one of Nate's electric cars here. This is the real deal.
No, there are no hybrids out there on the field for the Warwick Raiders. Those are all muscle cars, like the Fast and the Furious, a bunch of Chargers out there.
Have you seen those on the road? They look like tanks.
Yes.
You couldn't catch me driving one
American
of those.
steel.
So glad you're with us live on YouTube. Thank you for the opportunity that we always have with our time, talent, and treasure. Running clock here in the third quarter. Warwick just continues to work on fundamentals like that. And that was number 26. Want to give a shout out to our good friend Justin Lee. He's been a guest on Sports Highlights, former Norfolk State wonderful baseball player, listening, watching on YouTube tonight. Great radio commentator at WNIS. Doing a really good job with that Friday night show. Say hello to Justin. He's been a guest on Sports Highlights. Kind of looks like the wonderful Billy D. Williams.
Always a great shout out to you, Justin. Looking like Lando Calrissian out there on these streets.
Young guy in his 20s. Excuse me, now he's in his 30s now.
Great Billy D. Williams, of course, but this is anything other than a epic movie for the Norview pilots out here trying to crawl back out of this deficit. And for those that may be watching, obviously, we talk a lot about Warwick, but there is some history here when you talk about the Norview pilots. They are part of, desegregation back in the day, the integration in 1959. You talk about the Norfolk 17, and a majority of those Norfolk 17 students went to Norview High School. So there's some historic significance when we're talking about Norview and what they bring to the table. Unfortunately, they're not playing that well tonight, but that does not discount the sacrifice and the challenges and the obstacles that the Norfolk 17 overcame back in the day.
Fumble. Absolutely, Nate. That was a great point. And all the Norfolk schools are wonderful. Norview, Granby, Lake Taylor, Maury, all excellent schools in the city of Norfolk. And, of course, Booker T, where so many great players have played different sports over the years.
I'm sure our great producer, Ray Price, isn't biased towards one of those schools or another. I'm sure he's perfectly impartial.
Back in the 70s when the Jackson 5 was around and so many great musicians. Back in the day, there you see the referee, who I think is the best referee in Newport News.
Oh, wow, you're calling it.
Oh, yeah, I am. And finally, we get a chance to have him as a ref, Dwayne Bourne, with the white cap on right there.
So you're saying it's the Bourne identity tonight with Dwayne Bourne out there.
Very conscientious, takes his job very serious.
Lets the kids play.
Yep, absolutely. Very cognizant of the time. Warwick with the backup quarterback in now. They throw it. It is incomplete, in and out of the hands. Right there is the new quarterback for Warwick right there, Nate, is Hawkins.
What do you think about that, Greg? Is that a situation you like? Like, obviously, they got the game in hand right now. Would you have the backups in this early?
You know, you looked at what happened with Washington getting their quarterback hurt, playing late in the fourth quarter a few weeks ago. Regardless, Warwick is going to advance if they win.
Yeah. And, you know, you mentioned that with Dan Quinn leaving, Daniels in the game. So I think when you see that, it's a mixture of things. You know, you want to close out the game, but you also want to experiment, get some bench players some time out there in the contest. And so there's a couple of different objectives that the coaching staff wants to accomplish when you've got to lead this big.
Got to put your best players out there as Warwick gets near the 30 in the yellow uniforms. Here, late in the third quarter, it's 36-0 in favor of the Raiders, who've won 7 games this year in 2025. So they're going to go to 8-3 if they get this win. But they're going to go 1-0 in the playoffs, and that's all that matters.
That's the most important stat right there, Greg. 1-0 in the postseason, because it is a whole new season when you get to the playoffs, man. And they have come out here and been, you know, they haven't been perfect at everything in terms of execution, but they've done the important things, done the little things to keep this lead and grow this lead, and that's why they're likely to walk out of here with a win tonight.
They're going for the bomb. Incomplete. And look at our fans are sending us pictures of me and you watching and listening.
Nice.
Saying we're hilarious. Nate's Comedy Club up here tonight.
Not even gonna charge you tonight, folks. This is on the house.
Free admission, free parking on YouTube. So glad you're with us, as this will be the last varsity football game of 2025 at Todd Stadium, and that's not what you want to happen. You want to advance even further.
Yeah.
But this will be it. Everything else will be on the road.
And I think the big thing for Warwick that, you know, they can kind of look back on if they do stumble on the road advancing in the playoffs is they have the chance, if they beat Hampton, to host more than one game more than likely here at Todd, and they let it slip through their fingers.
They're going deep again. The catch is good. Excellent catch. And the Warwick Raiders score again. And the Raiders,
wow,
make it 42-0. All business tonight.
As you mentioned, Greg, getting some of the backups time. Hawkins with a dart, with a dime to Humphrey in the end zone, and the lead just keeps expanding for the Warwick Raiders.
All business. The late Thad Madden would be very proud of this Warwick team. Of course, Corey Harrison took this team to the perennial playoffs year after year. And the extra point try will be up by number 40, Nate. And that's so important during the postseason as well. This will be Tyler Reuter. Tyler's extra point is up, and we'll wait and see the call. It's good. 43-0. Still plenty of time left.
Whew. Tyler Reuter coming through again with the extra point. And again, this is, if you are a fan of the Warwick Raiders watching this broadcast tonight, this is kind of what you want to see from your team. You want to see some purpose and pride in what they're bringing to the field tonight. And I've seen, again, it hadn't been perfect, but they've done what they've needed to do. And if you're Coach Sykes, you got a lot of good film on tape to show to your team getting ready for the next game.
Granby, Kings Fork, this is the 5 division here. Of course, Denby and Lafayette going at it as well in 4. All Warwick over Norview, Woodside taking on Maury, Bethel and Nansemond River. So of the Newport News schools, 3 of them made it, 2 did not.
$43-0. That just sums it up right there, Greg. That shot on the screen, great job by our crew tonight, bringing you the sights and sounds of this postseason game from Todd Stadium. That has been the encapsulation of the evening for the Norview Pilots.
I mean, you got to evaluate the players all the time. You know, you're constantly watching film. The good thing is when we do a game, they get a chance to see us on YouTube and watch it from YouTube as well. Thomas Sykes doing a great job in year number 1 as the head coach. Takes the job very serious. Got a great staff, and you got to have assistants that you align with, mentally align with, because if one of y'all are off kilter, it can affect all the staff.
Right. Well, it's got to be a cohesive effort from the coaching staff down to your best players, down to the last man on the bench. It's got to be a cohesive team effort, and that culture that we talk about in program building is what you need to see. And I've been very impressed this season from Thomas Sykes in terms of kind of turning over a new page for the Warwick Raiders, and I don't think he's going to stop. I think next year this team has the potential to be even better, Greg.
Time will tell for sure. Of course, Virginia takes on Duke. North Carolina takes on Wake Forest. You know, you got to think, too, with Belichick being out there, he's done pretty good at North Carolina this year. You know, would he want to be one and done? And, you know, the Giants is open right now. So many jobs are open. Tennessee is open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's opportunities out there. And you got to wonder, what was the rush to go to college when he could have broken Don Shula's record?
I think
and it's got to hurt his credibility a little bit.
Yes, that part, Greg. I think the rush to go to college was, A, I'm a control freak that needs to control something, and B, I got bills to pay and a new friend in my life that has bills to pay. But the thing is, I would have done the same thing if you're talking about, Greg. I think Belichick should have taken a year off, and then he would be right in line for that Giants job, I think, next season.
Especially he was an assistant there at one time, too. You know, but because he really isn't a college person.
No, and it's like you said, North Carolina's not having the worst season, but it has tarnished a bit of Belichick's kind of image, along with the last year in New England, quite frankly, tarnishing Bill's image a bit.
So many openings in college and the NFL this year. And these athletic directors almost run it like NFL GM, but you got to remember, college football is still not the NFL.
No.
You know, a lot of these college players will never sniff the NFL.
It's a very elite club that gets to that top tier, that upper echelon, which is why I'm kind of glad, you know, I think there are things they need to figure out, Greg, and iron out about NIL and the portal, but I am glad that the college kids are getting a piece of the pie when it comes to revenue.
We've almost gone 2 hours of elapsed time here, almost 9 o'clock here at Newport News. So glad you're with us right here from Todd Stadium. Norview struggling all night long as Warwick will survive and advance quite easily as they still have one more quarter left to play, but they're up 43-0 with 98 seconds left in the third quarter. Warwick's made the postseason under a lot of different coaches over the years, but now it's a lot easier to make the postseason than it was, let's say, back in the 90s.
Yeah, to me, I am still not enthused when teams with losing records make it to the postseason again. No offense, Ryan. Ryan is like, what is this about me for? But I think you got to be at least 500 to be eligible. That would be my opinion. because if you're below 500, I don't think you should qualify for the postseason.
And Ryan, it seems like Warwick's getting better as the season goes on.
Yes, sir. I would absolutely agree with you. Although that one win against Phoebus early on in the season kind of showed that they would be really special throughout the year. Obviously, they've had a lot of really close games, and like you said, quite a while back, they never lost a game that didn't make sense.
I think that's the point right there. And I know that Hampton game is the one that Coach Sykes is
flags all over the place, and that was the run by the quarterback in the yellow, number 1 for the Raiders. That's Hawkins. The clock continues to roll as our favorite expression, time waits for nobody. There he is, Dwayne Bourne, getting a lot of TV time tonight. Look at him. Mr. Hollywood. Carl Daniels directing right now.
Carl Daniels on the 1s and 2s.
Nate will go over the crew list here. We'll add some spice to it in the fourth quarter. Speaking of spice, Nate, how spicy do you like your food?
I'm a medium to hot kind of guy, Don't want anything too crazy,
Nothing like bland food, that's for
Nothing
sure.
like bland food.
I like Norview's uniform. It was very clean. White shirts, white pants, blue helmets. Warwick just going through some fundamentals here. As we come to the end of the third quarter, go to the fourth. Right here at 9 o'clock tonight in Newport News, it's 43-0. Warwick, stay tuned for the fourth quarter. We'll be back after these messages.
And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is me? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You didn't even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
What's up, champ? I feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon. Thank you.
All right, back to live action right here at Todd Stadium. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, 35th year up here in Newport News in the booth. So glad you're with us. Nate, take over the crew list.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the crew that brought you the sights and sounds of tonight's game, of course. We've got Ariel Savage. We got the gambler. Muriel Gamble is back. We've got Aiden Montez. We've got Nigel McCallum, John Benoit, Mason Spencer for hire, Emery Whitfield, Cameron Cass. We got a guy R-squared, Ryan Ross up here in the booth with us. Of course, we've got Ethan Clinkenbeard. We've got Brandon Hedgepeth of the Hedgepeth Brothers. We've got Mansour Ahmed, Carl Daniels, Ray Price, Greg Bickaveris, and myself bringing you the sights and sounds of tonight's contest.
And we got RC, the running clock, too, as well.
Yes, special guest appearance.
Great job by the crew, all 5 games this year, this fall. Warwick in the yellow, throwing, going deep. Just holding it. I'm surprised they did not call. They did, yes. I saw that from way up here. You can't blatantly hold. I mean, the game is mathematically over. Let me ask you this. As we talk to our esteemed student, Ryan, when you're getting beat this bad, what is your mental thinking at this point? Seriously, if you're Norview.
If you're Norview. Well, for the seniors, it's kind of a sad moment, to be honest, because you're working so hard throughout this year. You got a few good wins. You go into this game ready to fight, and then you're losing this bad. It's not a good feeling. But for the lower classmen, this is a good feeling to get in their heads for next year, to have a chip on their shoulder, to go into every game and really not take for granted how much they have to fight for every win.
Absolutely.
Good answer, and I love how Ryan's become our expert here in the booth on blowout losses.
On very serious business, too.
Yes, I'm telling you. How old are you, Ryan?
17.
17. This man, I think I finally figured it out. I've been trying to figure out all night who you remind me of. You remind me of Marty Schottenheimer.
He does.
Marty
he looks like
Schottenheimer,
him too.
Former head coach.
And
he's got that presence.
And Marty's son is the coach of the Cowboys.
Brian, yes. Yep, Brian
That's
Schottenheimer.
quite a compliment. Marty Schottenheimer, I interviewed him before on the radio once. He's passed away.
It took me a while.
But, yeah, or a young Brian Billick.
A young Brian Billick, young Marty Schott. A young coach is what we're saying. I could see you on the sidelines coaching up the fellas.
So much is emotional, too, before the game. It takes so much time and processing. You need an hour to get ready. And Warwick keeping you on the ground. This game is all checkmate now, 43-0 over Norview. So, Nate, we've seen Warwick play a few times.
Mm-hmm.
They're good, but they still have some improvement to do, too.
Yeah. I think the key thing for Warwick is I don't think they've had a bad loss this season except for Hampton, because I can explain away the Oscar Smith loss. I can even explain away the loss, against the team from Charlotte. But I think the Hampton game is the one where if you are a player or a coach on that Warwick side, Greg, you're like, we had it. We had it. We had Hampton down, and we didn't stay on them, and we let them get back into the game.
But they did beat Phoebus, though.
And they beat Phoebus, and they beat Kickertan. They beat Kickertan down.
Yes, they did.
I think they're still scoring on Kickertan.
That was like 59-0. Sideline pass complete.
As you mentioned, though, Greg, next game is going to be a bigger task, a bigger challenge.
And that'll be on the road, too. That's where I agree to disagree with Sonny Dirth. He says playing on the road at the high school level is not a big deal. I'm sorry, Sonny. I respectfully disagree. It's not easy in any sport. High school basketball, football, baseball, anything at the high school, college, or professional level.
Especially depending on the atmosphere. Like, for instance, here at Todd, like we've mentioned, Greg, it's not packed. It's not, 100,000 fans.
Like a library atmosphere.
Yeah, so it's not like, the crowd isn't intimidating or rattling the pilots tonight. But you go to some of these other schools, Greg, and their fans come out, and you can feel the intensity. And so, like, it can make a difference in the postseason.
Incomplete. And Warwick just going for some extra points here if they can get them.
This game is rapidly slipping away from us, folks.
Any other sports you play at school, or is that it?
No, sir. Football is my only sport.
That takes enough time already, doesn't it?
I mean, you do have the height for basketball. I can see you. Got a little John Paxson flavor in here, a little Steve Kerr.
No, he did the right thing by playing football.
But again, want to give Ryan a shout out for joining us in the booth tonight. Again, a very studious young man, and I could see if you put the work in, you may have a future in this business, kid.
Or as a coach.
Or I'm telling you, like the Marty Schottenheimer, Brian Billick, I can see it. Somebody's defensive coordinator, somebody's defensive line coach here. I can see it.
All right, we'll see if they can get this kick here. It's up, and it is no good. As we got a stoppage and play at 5:29. Nate, we've had 5 good games this year that we've enjoyed, at least from our standpoint. Nate and I, of course, have worked together for 27 years. My 37th year in high school football.
Even if the games haven't been close, Greg, I've enjoyed.
And there's the coach right there. Yep, that's Carlin Farabee. Of course, shout out to, of course, Thomas Sykes for Warwick. Year number 1 for him. Longtime assistant. Gets his chance to get a little limelight as well.
Yeah.
It's all about time, talent, treasure, academics, athletics, activities. We've evolved from TV, YouTube, streaming. We live in a streaming world. Don't forget, folks, the day after Thanksgiving on Amazon, that game is free to everybody. A little bit of a Christmas gift. Now, Christmas Day, all the games are primarily going to be streaming that day, so you're going to have to subscribe.
The world of broadcasting in general and broadcast sports specifically, Greg, it's just changed so much.
Don't tell me what channel it's on because it's not on any channel.
Right.
People are really confused at first. I mean,
do you have a password?
Yes, that's it. And then if you flick it or go rewind or go backwards, you got to start all over again.
I remember the first Peacock game, the first Peacock playoff game. My dad had such trouble finding that game.
The Cowboys Commanders, I'll be there on Christmas Day. That'll be at 1 o'clock on Netflix. Lions Vikings, after that'll be on Netflix. Broncos Chiefs, that game will be on Prime Video. And, of course, this weekend, we're getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving. Nate, of course, I'll do it again. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes.
Okay. And
Could be big 3.
I'll switch it up on you a little bit, Greg. Fried turkey, sweet potatoes, and you know what? Where's Brandon at? I see Brandon. Green bean casserole. I see you, brother. Stand in solidarity for the green bean casserole.
I really got to take and give you a lot of credit because you mentioned M&Ms.
Yes.
And I was craving some M&Ms the other day, and one bag didn't do it.
No.
I ate the whole jumbo bag.
Oh, wow.
It still felt like I wanted some more M&Ms.
You go classic peanut butter?
Oh, classic, classic, the
peanuts?
peanut, just the peanut.
Okay. Uh-oh.
I'm extremely conservative when it comes to candies. I don't like to mix up with jelly or peanut butter.
Right.
There's either 2 kinds for me, the regular chocolate or just peanuts.
Peanuts, okay. The peanut butter is good, though, Greg. I'll tell you, the peanut butter one's good. You just got to be in the right mood for it.
Exactly. Just like my licorice, I like black and red both.
Okay.
Just don't eat it that often.
No.
Stay away from processed food, folks. Eat your fruit and veggies.
Yep.
More advice from Nate and I. Wear your seatbelt during this holiday season and every day. Just the drivers sometimes aren't looking for you.
No. Especially, we got a lot of high schoolers watching, maybe driving for the first time. This is a dangerous time of the year to be out on the roads, but if, buckle your seatbelt, follow the rules of the road, you'll be all right.
Some people are always in a rush to go somewhere. There's no rush at all. You want to arrive safely. That's all that matters.
Arrive alive, as they used to say on the seatbelt commercials. That's what you want to do.
Nate, been a great 5 games working with you again this fall. Always a pleasure. Like I said, I know a lot of people. Nate Pilton is a friend of mine. I know Nate Milton. Everybody else has known Nate Milton.
One of one.
Nate, tell us your middle name.
I've got 2 middle names. That's how special I am, Greg. My middle name is William Payne.
And Nate has been nothing but a joy.
Not a pain, but
for
a joy.
27 years.
And what is your middle name, Greg Bigavera?
After my dad, James.
Absolutely.
And we're down to the final 2 minutes. There is no 2-minute warning in high school football.
Another successful season here.
5 good games. Thank you, Mr. Price, for the opportunity. We always thank the man. But he can't control the scoreboard. But he likes it when it's a running clock. RC, our favorite 2 words.
Drink some RC Cola.
That was a classic soda back in the day, just like Tab was.
Tab.
Nobody talks about Tab.
I remember Tab.
I can't drink Tab. I tried
vaguely
it. It's
remember
horrible.
Tab.
43-0. Warwick will advance.
Wow.
Congratulations to Warwick. You see Carlin Farabee, great sportsmanship by both teams.
Yeah.
He had some Iowa roots in him, too.
Yeah, and you got to tip your cap to the Pilots, man. They came out, they played hard. It just did not come together. You know, they came out, they thought they were going to have a flight like Tom Cruise in Maverick, a flight like Sully, and it ended up more like Denzel Washington in Flight. The plane's upside down, and next thing you know, you're in the Bermuda Triangle with Amelia Earhart. But, hey, they still came out and played, so you got to give them credit for showing up, Greg.
Not trying to go to, like, space.
It's the final frontier.
A lot of people have been trying to go to space lately.
Would you go to space, Greg, if they paid for your ticket?
My idea of heights is going from my bed to the floor. Norview tried to score. Now, of course, when I fly and go to Greece, I don't look down. I've flown a million times.
But you draw the line at space.
That's it. Excellent 5 games, Nate. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's been a pleasure as always, my friend. Always good to bring folks this exciting action, man. Regardless of the final score, it's a pleasure and a privilege to bring y'all exciting prep football action every year.
And the game is got 1 second left. Here it is. A little bit too late. And the game is over as Warwick will advance to the second round in 5 playoffs. 43-0, convincing sound win over the Norview Pilots. Nate, your thoughts?
Big time win for the Warwick Raiders. This is what you need. This is how you want to start the postseason. Now the question, Greg, that we talked about all night long. Take this win, take what you learned, and take it to the next game. Come out with that intensity, put the foot to the pedal, and show what you're really about, because that's the thing. Can they get over the hump? That's what I want to see.
I want to thank Carl Daniels for chipping into the second half here as well. Nate, great job by you. Great job by our student announcer as well, Ryan Ross. So for Ryan Ross and Nate Milton and Ray Price, I'm Greg Bicaveras. Once again, the final score, Warwick wins in the postseason 43-0 over Norview. Good night. We'll talk to you soon.